Welcome to part 2 of my favorite demos from the final Steam Next Fest of 2025. It's going to be another part featuring many more indie-game demos that we've checked out on stream and afterwards. And with that, let's see what today's crop brings. And we are beginning things with Bubsy 4D. Somehow Bubsy has returned yet again, and this time in another 3D platformer. Our game in this take is being designed by the same team who's doing Demon Turf and the sequel to that, which means we have a very speedrun, jumping and movement tech-centric platformer. But in a really great touch, Bubsy here feels a lot different in terms of the physics and movement tech compared to that one. The bad guys are at it again, and this time we have evil sheep to deal with, which I'm sure concerns everyone who's really fascinated by Bubsy lore. And we're going to explore a variety of planets, collect lots of MacGuffins, and listen to the numerous catchphrases along the way. Our tech here is built on you having access to a double jump. Your pounce is kind of your main combo starter for a lot of your tech. You can pounce to launch yourself forward, hit objects to do damage or propel yourself off of them. You have a glide, as well as ability to turn him into a giant fluff ball, which gives you increased speed, which if you're going to go for speedrunning, you are going to have to really learn how to do that. Now, the level design here is still very similar to that of Demon Turf in that it focuses more on very wide environments rather than very technical ones. So it's more about kind of showcasing your own expertise of the movement tech rather than challenging you with very demanding or interesting level designs, at least from what I saw in the demo. So, if you are someone who really likes movement tech-centric 3D platforming, then this is a very easy recommendation, and we shall see we finally get an amazing Bubsy game. And if you didn't play the other games from the developer, I highly recommend you check them out if you want even more movement-centric platforming to do. And now we go to Rapid Rush for another time trial speedrun centric game. You play a ninja rabbit trying to deal with enemies as quickly as you can in order to get that illustrious 3-star rating. Our gameplay is that you'll go through a level, kill all the enemies as fast as you can, then you are graded on that. You're given ninja or carrot shurikens that will allow you to pierce enemies and kill them a lot faster in order to go for all the time trial and 3-star goodness. Now, if you're going for that 3-star, it is going to be challenging as the timing is incredibly tight. I'm not a huge speedrun fan, time trial person by trade, so it doesn't quite work for me in that respect. But if you are someone who likes time trial style games, it is a very easy recommendation and definitely one you should be checking out. And now we go to Forestrike. This is a martial arts action roguelite. You are trying to save the Emperor from usurpers, and you must do it one battle at a time, with the ability to plan a fight out as much as you can. The design here is that the enemies are built around specific attacks and defenses. They will track you really well. When you go into your Foresight ability, you're able to practice a fight as much as you can until you get a routine that you like, and then you do the battle proper. Now, as you go through each one of the fights, you will get access to additional techniques that are like your artifacts and upgrades. There are additional teachers and styles to unlock, and it's a very interesting but also polarizing design. When I first saw this game, I thought this was going to be more like a fights in tight spaces, where it's like a turn-based take on real-time combat. But this is just kind of using the whole Foresight ability essentially as just rapid practice. And you can't even kind of take what you do in Foresight and then apply to the fight. You have to do it for real. And I found it to be a little bit annoying in that respect. So just getting the timing down when you're practicing to then mess up and take a hit because you do not recover health easily. This is going to be one of those games I think it's either going to be you're going to love it or hate it. for how specific it is to play. And while it may not quite work for me, it's still a very interesting demo, and I think one you should at least give a look at. And now we go to Stomp and the Sword of Miracles. This is a Metroidvania that is currently in Kickstarter at the same time their Next Fest demo is up. We play as Stomp, who, when an evil kind of cultist revives what appears to be an elder god into our lovely realm, it's up to them to take up the miracle sword and try and save the day. Our gameplay here is just pure Metroidvania design. So expect all the staples of learning how to wall jump, double jump, and find health and other upgrades. The art style here is very charming. I did get a chuckle out of the writing. This one feels very inspired by like the Hollow Knight formula, but definitely does not have the same level of bite to it. And all in all, I just found this to be a really solid game. I'm curious to see how it'll turn out when it's finished. And if you are interested in it, be sure to check out both the demo and the Kickstarter, and hopefully they'll be able to get it all funded. We leave the cuteness behind for some boomer shooter retro action with Klostyn. This is a game heavily inspired by kind of like PlayStation 1, very early 90s PC shooting. You have been attacked by alien pirates, and in order to get off the planet, you must shoot anything that moves. Our gameplay again is going to be your classic boomer shooter. The footage you're seeing is being played on the highest difficulty, which the enemies do hit quite hard. And all in all, it's one of those games that it is, or you get what you pay for. If you're looking for a reinvention of FPS design and that level of iteration, this is not going to be that game. It's definitely a love letter to this style, with a variety of weapons, and enemies who are really great at dodge rolling to avoid laser blasts. We played about 3 or 4 levels in. I don't know, will there be like additional boss fights or secrets and stuff like that in the main game, but still a very entertaining one nonetheless. So if you're in the mood for some classic boomer shooting, I would give this demo a try. And now we go to the Killing Stone. This is the latest attempt at an inscription-like. You are apparently getting into a card game battle with the devil in order to fill your master's dying wish. And this is going to take in the form of a lot of roguelike style maps. The twist that this game brings to the table is that you and your quote-unquote opponent will be able to choose different buffs and nerfs that can take place over the course of the run. So you'll have to kind of adapt to which buffs you want to apply and which nerfs the enemy will try to apply against you. The battle itself is a little bit on the simple side. You have characters that will line up on the left and right side of the board, and positioning will matter. You can also play kind of creatures and other effects on top of a card that will basically either activate and boost it, or will automatically summon a character when the kind of, equipped character dies. From the demo, it does feel a little bit rough in terms of play. It's slower to kind of get characters on the board and watch combat play out, and instead of swapping cards out one at a time, you swap cards out in packs, so it's like a pack of 3 cards to swap out for another pack of 3. It's an interesting idea, but I'm curious to see like if there will be, or is there any kind of like meta progression outside of the plays itself. They give you places you can explore, but I didn't see like anything like you could like solve a puzzle or collect resources or something else along those lines. So there is an interesting idea here, and I'm curious to see how it will develop. So if you were a fan of kind of like the Inscription game within a game style, I will give this one a try. I am looking forward to seeing like how it will all shake out when it is released. And now we go to Cinicross. This is a dungeon roguelike meets Picross, where you must solve nonograms to fight your way out of a dungeon before you run out of time and health. Our combination here is that you must solve each nonogram. When you complete a puzzle, you can be given gold, consumable items, or artifacts that will manipulate the board in some way. When you get to the end of a floor, you'll fight a boss, and kind of in like the same structure of Balatro's bosses, they're designed to mess with the normal rules of solving these puzzles. You have a time limit that you must manage as well, which definitely adds a bit more stress to proceedings. Now, I do have a few UX issues when it comes to this game. So the first one is that the sound effects can be a little bit grating after a while. The tutorial noises were something else, which I am not including in this to save everyone's ears. But one thing that I really didn't like is that the confirmation on the board that you hit that you're in the right spot, it is a duller color than the incorrect one. So usually in these games, you keep the duller color as incorrect so that your eyes are immediately drawn to the brighter or more vibrant color to know where you have something correct. It's a very confusing mix here because it kept throwing me off a lot while I was trying to solve these puzzles. And it's hard to tell the moment what will be the market for this game. Because if you're going to try and play this like purely as a Picross style game, you're going to find the boss fights to be very annoying. And if you are someone looking for a more involved take on Picross, I'm not sure if this one's going to work for you. So it's a very interesting experiment, and I would say if any of this sounds intriguing to you, I would at least give this demo a try and see how it will play out for you. It's time for the bonus game section of our video. First up is the idle/incremental Shelldiver. This feels kind of like a incremental take on the Dave the Diver formula. You play a, I guess, turtle, who is diving for various critters and scrap. Each time you dive, you have a limited amount of oxygen and ammo in order to catch as many things as you can. When you go back to the surface, you can then sell your fishies for shells, which acts as your progression currency. And the game features a expanding perk tree this side of Forager, as you'll unlock everything from new weapons, improved perks, new areas, quality of life features, and much more. When you hit certain prestige levels, you will unlock the next environment, where it will get harder and the rewards will get greater. The loop here is really well done. You'll go from earning a few shells at a time to dozens, to hundreds, to thousands. And I'm very interested to see if the loop can retain itself over the long run. Like, will there be additional weapons? If it's just going to be me collecting more shells or more gears to get more shells and more gears, I could see it becoming a little bit repetitive in that respect. But as far as kind of like the incremental style goes, I think this is a really solid one. So if you like diving for shells and progress, I would give this one a play, and hopefully you won't dive too far down and use up all your time. And now we go to Fantastic Findings Hidden Seasons. This is a first-person 3D hidden object game, where, as you can tell by our footage, is going to be Christmas themed, as you must explore Santa's kind of his entire compound, looking for all manner of goodies, holiday treats, and presents. Now, the first person in the kind of like full 3D is something that we don't often see from the hidden object genre, as you're free to explore, pan, zoom out to find your required goals, as well as bonus items if you want to get the illustrious 3-star rating. While the theming and the charm are certainly on point, there is one very big problem with the game, and the camera right now is at best functionally unusable and at worst a very big migraine causer. The problem is that you can only zoom out to specific zoom levels. It's not a case where you can kind of like zoom in out to whatever point you want. So you'll have cases where you're zooming too far in to see something, or you're zooming too far out and you can't see it. And I kind of wish the camera was maybe just like a full like first person, almost like kind of like an FPS shooter or what we saw with Power Wash Simulator, because it unfortunately really distracts from the game itself. I like how you can interact with different objects, and again, this is meant to be like more on the casual, cozy side, so there's definitely no like hardcore elements in it. If they can improve the camera by the holiday season, then this could be a great treat. But we will have to see if this game can either become a wonderful present or a lump of coal. And for the last game of our video today, we have Kin and Quarry. This is another incremental game where you play a tribe of animal critters who are trying to save the forest from an evil geomancer. In order to do that, we must dig very deep into this mine in order to get the kind of forest spirit their powers back. Our loop is that each day you will go into the quarry with your friends that you can recruit. As you dig further down, you will find artifacts which will allow you to get more characters in your party. You'll get resources that you can then trade in order to get access to new buildings, as well as experience that will let you level up. And this is definitely a game about upgrades and progression, as you'll be able to unlock new features for your characters, raise their stats, make the blocks easier, there's ascension. I'm sure the rabbit hole or foxhole gets even deeper as you play through. I like the number of progression systems in this one. The main issue that I have that's a little bit frustrating is that progression is tied to clearing out every block in a layer. Now, your miner friends are all AI partners, so they're not the most intelligent miners in the world. So you can have a situation where, because no one knows how to jump up a box, you can have a situation where a section of blocks get completely left and there's just no way to reach them, even with your kind of left-click attack power. Another very charming game, and it looks like there's going to be a lot of stuff in this one between different characters, upgrades, and ascension. I'm definitely interested to see how far things will go. So once again, if you're in the incremental mood, looking for another game to dig into, then I highly recommend this one. And with that, part 2 is done. We got plenty more games to come. If you did enjoy these games or play them, let me know what you think down below, and there's still time to get your game in for a future stream and showcase. So with that, I'm going to rest my voice, get ready for the next stream, and I will see everyone there. Thanks for watching, and a special thank you to our Patreon supporters. If you enjoyed the video, do the YouTubing stuff, be sure to visit our Discord and Patreon, and if you're interested in more of my thoughts on design, check out my game design books.